I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, back with another daily face-off week in review, courtesy of our friends at Montana's, where all-you-can-eat Rib Fest is on right now. Head to montanas.ca to find the location nearest you. Let's start this off with some news we got late last week. Lehner is going to miss the entire season for the Vegas Golden Knights, and while yes, that'll give the Golden Knights an extra $5 million to spend towards the cap next season, they only have Laurent Brossoit and Logan Thompson between the pipes. Brossoit is basically a career backup at this point, and his save percentage last year was .895. Logan Thompson had great numbers last year, .914 save percentage, .268 goals against average, but he only played 19 games. He's only played 20 NHL games in his career so far. While he's 25 years old and he's 6'4" and he has some good NHL games under his belt, he's pretty inexperienced. Will Vegas want to roll the dice on a Brossoit-Thompson tandem next season, given just how inexperienced Thompson is and he would likely have to be their starter? I'm not sold on that. Like I said, they do have a little bit of extra money now that they could potentially spend. There are no good free agent options out there, unless maybe you want to take the chances on Corey Schneider revitalizing his career. So the Golden Knights may need to look towards the trade market. Two names who have been buzzed about a little bit in the last week: James Reimer out in San Jose, who has a very low cap hit at just over $2 million and has been remarkably consistent over the last few years. Or out on Long Island, they could go take a look at Semyon Varlamov. He has one more year and a $5 million cap hit, which is almost identical to what Robin Lehner was carrying in terms of a cap hit as well. And Varlamov maybe has a little bit more upside. A Varlamov-Thompson pairing could actually be pretty good for the Golden Knights. Speaking of the Islanders, they've been very quiet. Like Vegas, they're a team that also needs a bounce back next season, but they haven't done a lot in this offseason. Now, they do have about $11 million in projected cap space, according to Cap Friendly, but they need to sign Noah Dobson to a new deal, and Alexander Romanov is still in RFA, so they'll need to allocate some money there. There's a lot of talk that they could be in on Nazem Kadri, and Kadri could very well sign there, but in order to do that, the Islanders are going to have to offload some money. With Ilya Sorokin cemented as their number one goalie and probably a top 5 goalie in the entire NHL, could they maybe look to move Varlamov to get rid of that $5 million cap hit? Let me throw a little hypothetical deal at you. What would Vegas have to add to a Laurent Brossoit package to get Varlamov to switch conferences? It's an interesting idea, and if the Islanders did that, they may just free up enough money to go give Nazem Kadri the contract that he's looking for. Another thing to keep an eye on right now in the hockey world is outside of the NHL, and that's the 2022 IIHF World Juniors, the summer tournament in Edmonton. The quarterfinals get going on Wednesday. One player who's been making a lot of noise, of course, is Connor Bedard. 3 goals in just 4 games. He's added 4 assists as well. Earlier today on the DFO Rundown with Jason Greger, I asked how many teams next season could actually be tanking for Connor Bedard. Well, last year there were 2 teams that finished under 60 points. If you go back to the Connor McDavid year, which was a pretty intense tank year, there were also just 2 teams that season to finish under 60 points, but one of the teams that finished with more than 60 points was actually the team that won the lottery. It'll be interesting to see how many teams this season go into full-on tank mode to try to secure the first overall pick and get Connor Bedard. Speaking of the World Juniors, how about Mason McTavish leading the tournament with 7 goals and 6 assists in just 4 games? The Anaheim Ducks prospect has been having a tremendous tournament, and now there's some buzz about what he might be able to do next year at the NHL level. The Ducks have a lot of young players next year that could take a step forward. They also have over $18 million in cap space still right now, so I wonder if they could be a player to make a quick add and try to beef up their roster a little bit before the start of the season. That's going to do it for another daily face-off week in review. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. Shout out to our friends at Montana's. Check out All You Can Eat Rib Fest on now until September 12th. #GetMontanasMessy for more info.